Hi, I'm Thembi.
I'm Jonathan.
And today on How to Learn, we're going to be discussing learning design. And you must be thinking, learning design? What could we possibly learn about learning design?
Simple concept.
So simple.
Nothing to it.
Nothing to it at all. But what do we mean by learning design?
We mean a category, don't we?
It's yeah.
There
Should
are
we call
so
it
many.
Catalogue,
Category, a bucket. There are just so many when you start to break it down, skills and disciplines within this thing called learning design. And I'm not sure how many of them you have to be good at, but it feels like a lot.
Yeah, it definitely does. And sometimes when people say learning design, it might be thinking about that visual. Here's the learning product.
Yeah.
Here's the content. Ta-da, I'm a learning designer. But what about before then? What happens?
I think your head goes straight to the content.
Yes.
And that's only a small part of the process, isn't it? Because there's the analytical bit, the research, structure, the process, the audience.
The audience, but also the stakeholders.
Yeah, you've got to think about people. You can't just go off into a room and do learning design.
No, and this isn't my learning content. And that's the thing, like moving from this is my vision to you need to create a product that thousands, even millions of people are going to be accessing. So you have to remove the my vision, like how you want it to be done.
We've both got experience as learning designers in a professional sense. Do you think it attracts people who like to go off and, am I talking about myself here, like to go off into a corner and just do design in the way that an artist might, or a graphic designer or something? Because you do seem to have to deal with people quite a lot, is what I've learned.
Yeah, you definitely do. And you do come across like learning designers that would prefer to sit in a corner and scribble away and create this absolute masterpiece, but then be disappointed when the audience or the stakeholders aren't engaging in this masterpiece because you haven't brought people along that journey with you.
Yeah.
And I guess this comes back to that our previous podcast where we talk about feedback is actually a gift in this space.
Yeah, I'll tell you what else is a gift: project management skills.
Absolutely.
And this is not what all learning designers want to hear, but if you're going to do it even in terms of a single project, and certainly if you're going to manage a team of learning designers, you need project management. I don't think it's generic. I think there are certain aspects of project management that are particularly relevant to learning design.
Yeah.
And there's one in my head which is about you're introducing a creative concept. Mm-hmm. So you're not delivering a widget to a certain spec. You have to, so part of the project management is about introducing people to a new creative concept, a design, a way of doing things, which is a bit of a harder sell. You're going to have to get people on board. You have to work hard to get people on board, and you're going to have to take account of that in the project. Am I convincing you here? I think there's a learning branch of project management because there's a particular set of challenges there.
No, there definitely is that part, but then there's also the collaboration part and the stakeholder engagement.
Absolutely.
So you might think, I've created this wonderful learning product. It's the wrong branding colour. Yeah, but I think it should be this colour, but it's the wrong branding colour. We need it to be in the right branding colour.
So how do you manage creatives?
How do you manage creatives in a space of being asked to deliver something that they've been asked to do?
Yeah, so in our next 20-part series, podcast series on managing creatives, tune in, because that's a big one. Managing creatives and managing experts.
Yeah, and I think it's the managing experts is probably one of the things that you don't probably consider in the learning design space, because you are subject matter expert. You are like, this is my product.
Yeah.
I know better than what you do, and you will benefit from this. But it goes back to that bringing people on the journey with you.
Yeah,
as you collaborate.
Including experts who don't always know how to communicate their expertise or even appreciate your skills in communicating their expertise.
Exactly.
So
it's not just being a learning designer. You also need to have other skills like communicating with people, whether that's face-to-face or written communication, informally or formally.
Yeah, so as this super being learning designer with all possible skill sets, but these are all valid. And I think there's an overall point. This is something you pointed out about the 360-degree nature of this.
Yeah.
If you're doing learning design, unfortunately, you have to educate the entire organisation about learning design.
You have to educate everybody. So people know why it is that it's been designed in this way. Why are we taking this approach? Why is it not a 20 slide deck? Why is it only 5? And you have to this is the whole bringing the people on the journey with you. And also structure. And I guess you have to have some structure in your learning design process.
Sounds hellish.
Do you want to do any more than learning design?
I think I might open an ice cream van or something. Well, that's probably quite a bit of project management. But so I think one of the implications of this as we wrap up is that if you're going to be a learning designer, and if you're going to apply for jobs and interviews and all the rest of it as you move up through that career, you're going to have to rotate through all of these disciplines and understand and be able to talk about, I think, all these different aspects of learning design. It's not just a single discipline.
Exactly. And we're talking about if you're working in an organisation. Obviously, if you're working in a specific company that does learning design, then you've already got your stakeholders on board.
Yeah, you've still got to manage yourself, though.
Exactly. And manage your time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And not rush the creative process. I don't know.
So there we go. Easy, really.
Absolutely.
So that was learning design. Please share your thoughts. And good luck with all that, the bucket, the catalogue, all the categories of skills and disciplines within learning design.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening.
Bye now.